You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SEATGEEK. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code Dre Area Sports. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
Your Area Sports Show is back, baby. I'm back from my summer or spring break vacation, and I'm joined by Aaron of 49ers First Takes. Aaron, I went all the way to San Diego with my kids and my wife and some family, and we went to Legoland for 2 days. I had a blast. This is the second time we've gone there. Have you ever been to Legoland?
No, I've never been out of the Northeast.
Well, there you go. If you ever do, it's worth it. Believe me. Only if you have kids, though. If you don't have kids, then it's a little weird because it's made for smaller kids. So it was like, oh, man. But on top of that, guys, I'm glad to be back. I'm back here. Dre Area Sports is live here at 11:06 a.m. Pacific time. We're talking about the NFL draft. We're talking about the prospects the Niners should and can acquire in this NFL draft. And there are some players, too, that I feel they should avoid. And so we'll get down to all of that as well. But before we do anything else, I want to ask you this. So we know earlier last week, because remember, I haven't gone live since like last week. Brandon Ayuk, he got past the April 1st deadline. He's going to be a Niner at least for this next year, possibly longer. And he's on a contract with a good look to move him after this year. Who knows what's going to happen? But there is a rumor, or there is speculation that he could be back by week 1. Aaron, do you think it's possible that Brandon Ayuk comes back for week 1?
No. No. Why? Why would you do that? Would it be awesome for us, considering, a lot of the faces that have left this offseason to have him ready for week 1? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But he didn't like completely tear his knee pretty much. So like,
yeah, he tore his meniscus, his ACL, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So like, that seems like a little bit of a pie in the sky thing. I would love to hear it from multiple sources before I sit there and say, this might be something that's real. Let's just, let's get through the draft and then we'll start worrying about, who's going to be available for week 1. Like there's a couple steps that are in the way before we get there. So, no, I don't think he'll be ready. I don't know. Do you have a feeling that he's going to be ready?
No, I think that, fans will be pushing for him to get ready or be ready by week 1, but I don't think he will be. I think he's more of like a week 4 at the earliest. But if he comes back for week 1 and he's actually, closer to his old self, that'd be amazing. But still, I think that you're looking at a week 4, possibly week 6, week 8. I mean, they talked about early on that he'd be back in November, which makes more sense to me because, I mean, he's suffering a pretty atrocious injury that he got late in the year last season. But either way, I think when we talk about the draft that's coming up, I think the Niners do need to address that position because right now you have Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowing, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think you have some dudes in the back, but I think when it comes to the Niners, they need to at least draft one receiver, and you have Demarcus Robinson as well. Don't forget about that. So I think getting Robinson in was a huge deal for the Niners. Getting a guy who could stretch the field, getting a guy who could open things up for not only Kittle, but Jennings and Pearsall. I think Pearsall's going to have a big year this year, and we saw what Pearsall was able to do late in the year last season. He's able to get open, get multiple catches per game. I think he's going to be a favorite target for Brock Purdy moving forward. But again, they haven't signed Brock Purdy to his new contract, which it does make you kind of wonder because when you look over at like Buffalo, they've already signed Josh Allen. You look over at the Rams, they got the deal done with Matthew Stafford. Why haven't we got this deal done with Brock Purdy? Like, what is the hesitation? Why is everybody waiting around? Is Brock saying, you know what, I'm not going to sign until the summer? I don't know. We have no idea why it's taking this long to sign a guy that both Jed York and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have said that they plan on keeping him here for the long term. Aaron, why do you think it's taking so long to get this contract done?
I don't know. I don't know if you heard the interview with Jed. And Jed, me and Sterling were talking about this, that like Jed has a problem with putting his foot in his mouth, and he's not like media savvy. So like when he answered the question about Brock, he made the comment about, wanting to have Brock be here for a while and, wanting to get him signed. And he talked about, how good Brock is on his own. But he quickly brought up Kyle Shanahan and the weapons around him.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of made me feel the way a lot of us or a lot of fans feel that, Brock is a good quarterback, but he is a product of the system. And I think a lot of us, to an extent, believe that. And just the way that Jed York answered the question, it kind of gave you a little insight of exactly where the 49ers feel about him. They feel like he could be their quarterback of now and possibly the future. But how much are you willing to money-wise part with him, considering like, okay, he's pretty good, but he's not in that upper echelon of talent that we all know who that is, the Josh Allen and the Lamar Jacksons. So
right, but I mean, based on his accomplishments, I mean, he's accomplished things that those guys haven't even done yet. That's what's crazy about this.
It's like I don't know. I feel like they see him like a lot of the majority of the fan base sees him. I don't think they see him directly like guys like me and you who think like, yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah.
The future. I think the 49ers have a certain level of not hesitation, but there's like Sterling said this. He's like, there's a reason he was the last pick in the draft, right? Like, there's a reason for it. And he has limitations.
Yes, he does.
He's not, doesn't have an elite arm, not the biggest guy. So a majority of the fan base looks at him and sees all those things. And then there's the part of the fan base like me and you talked about, or it's just constant bashing Brock. So I think the 49ers viewpoint on him is a realistic one where they see him as a really good quarterback and they see him as a quarterback that can lead this team. But I don't think they see him as like if somebody else came along that was better, they would love to get out from underneath that contract and be able to get that guy. Like if an elite level guy came into the league and somehow the 49ers were able to acquire him, it's like they want to have financial security for Brock, but at the same time, I feel like there's a limitation in what they believe he can do. And because of that, they have a certain level of like monetary hesitance to give him the most money because I don't know. I've come around to the fact that I think Brock is somewhat a product of the system. I was a little bit more hesitant to say that back in the day. I kind of fought people. But man, it's tough. They take a long time with contracts. I don't know why. You're right. Like the Bills didn't even talk about Josh Allen getting signed. And
all of a sudden he was just signed. You're like, oh shit. It's crazy.
They have a number for him. His agent has a number for him, and I feel like this thing's gonna run right into training camp, Dre. I don't think they're gonna have it done anywhere near the offseason program. So,
well, I mean, if you look at his stats from last season, he's got 20 touchdowns. He threw for 3,864 yards, but he had 12 interceptions. And when you compare that to what he had in 2023, his numbers actually dipped down from 2023. So he had a better year the previous year. But overall, though, I mean, PFF, they have him graded at, let's see, that's not it. Overall grade, he's 14th in PFF at 82.4. So I think he does sort of fit into that ranking, maybe at 14, but I think he's more of like a top 8, top 9 quarterback. But here's the thing, though, is that, and this is what everyone kind of harps on him about, is that Brock has a lot of the intangibles these quarterbacks don't have. Brock is able to read defenses. Brock is able to make plays on the fly. Brock is able to, I should say, improvise when he has to. Brock doesn't have the rocket arm, but he's very accurate. He's a good timing quarterback as well. He does a lot of things that a lot of quarterbacks just simply can't do. A lot of the quarterbacks that are being drafted can't do. And so when you compare him to the quarterbacks that are coming out of this draft, right? Now, obviously, Cam Ward is not going to be there at 11. The Niners are not going to trade up. They're not going to trade Brock Purdy to go up to, number 3 and get, Cam Ward. He won't even be there. I think Cam Ward is an excellent quarterback, by the way. But when you look at who's left, right, the top 2 quarterbacks everyone's talking about after Cam Ward is going to be Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders. I don't think either one of them is as good as Brock Purdy. I wouldn't want either one of them over Brock Purdy. Now, some people would ask, okay, so if at 11, if Shedeur Sanders is there, should the Niners take him? I even asked that question on X, and Johnny Dell from Johnny Dell's Football Academy called me out saying, oh, you're just trying to stir the pot. I'm like, no, I'm literally trying to ask, like, if he's there at 11, should they draft him? My answer is no. Luke Lana says absolutely 100%. I wouldn't, though. I would not draft Shedeur Sanders.
He made a comment about my beard.
Oh, okay.
He's a ginger as well, so he's just he's looking out. I feel like the 49ers in some ways feel like they been through this before with Jimmy Garoppolo. He wasn't their first choice, but he ran the offense as good as a lot of people, or as good as anyone had to that point. And I don't think that the 49ers ever wanted to pay Jimmy Garoppolo what they paid him. Considering every offseason there was rumors that they were looking to replace him. There was talk about Aaron Rodgers coming to the 49ers. There was talk of Tom Brady coming to the 49ers. And I do feel like there's a similar situation brewing here. He's definitely the best quarterback we've had under John and Kyle, 100%, no doubt. As they say, no cap. But the Niners, as they should as a franchise, are always looking to get better. And like I said, I feel like there's a limit of what they are willing to pay Brock. They have belief in him, but I think they also see what a lot of other people see, that to an extent he is really a product of the system. And I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm jumping on the clique that the Trey Lance lovers, that they don't want to ever get over Trey Lance not being good enough. I'm definitely not going down that path, but I just feel like they have a certain amount of belief in him, but I feel like that belief has a cap, and that cap is going to be a certain monetary place. Where that is, we don't know. Is it between 45 and 55 million? Maybe. But they're also going to create a contract, because this is what they do. This is what John or Parag Marat, they always like to create contracts that they can get out of.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue right now is that they're trying to appease both sides. And because of that, they're taking absolutely forever. And I think they also have the feeling that has been talked about this offseason, where they regret some of the deals that they've done in recent years, like the Bosa and the Ayuk and the Debo. So I feel like they're treading lightly with this Brock Purdy situation. But like, you're right. Like, man, like everybody else gets signed immediately. And we're always waiting until the beginning of training camp before we see anything. So I don't know, man.
Dude, it's crazy. When I was flying back from San Diego to San Francisco, I swear to God, on my flight, Shedeur Sanders was on the flight. The guy looked just like him, and I was going to ask him, like, are you Shedeur Sanders? And I was like, if I'm wrong, he's going to tell me to get lost. But I was going to ask him, like, hey, that's you. Why are you going to San Francisco for, Maybe they wanted to bring him in and talk to him. I don't know. But when you look at Shedeur Sanders' numbers, God, that guy looked just like him. He threw for over 4,000 yards. He had 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He played for Colorado, so he's in the Pac-12. Oh, no, wait, did they move out of that? I think they might have moved out of that. But anyway, he had 10 interceptions. He also had a quarterback rating of 75.5, and I think a lot of scouts and voices, podcasters, or they're focusing on that. Like his QBR was 75.5. I mean, that's pretty good for a college quarterback. But I don't think this is a guy that you use your number 11 pick on.
No.
And move off of Brock Purdy, or draft him and then play Brock Purdy on his final year, and then franchise and figure out what you want to do then. No, I don't think you do that whatsoever. I think what you do is like actually going back to what you were just talking about with Jimmy Garoppolo, the year we drafted Trey Lance. I didn't like that move at all. I thought that was a terrible move to trade up to get one of those three quarterbacks, and only one of them is still like a starting quarterback, and Trevor Lawrence. Wilson is a joke. He's just a backup now. And Trey Lance is like a journeyman. Doesn't know what he is anymore. If we hadn't made that move and we just stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo for another year, that would have been more beneficial for this team than drafting Trey Lance. That was just the biggest mistake that they made in this Lynch-Shanahan era. And I'm so upset that they made that move. Terrible move.
Yeah, it affected the team that they have on the field this coming season.
Absolutely.
They gave up 2 first-round picks for a quarterback that didn't work out. Those first-round picks could have been a future offensive tackle. They could have
had Micah Parsons with that pick.
Had another pass rusher.
Imagine if they would have drafted Micah Parsons instead of Trey Lance. The team would have been better. Yeah. And I get what they were going for. They were trying to get a guy on a rookie deal that was dynamic, that could run, that had the rocket arm. And Trey Lance, he had those things. And unfortunately, what he didn't have, maybe he'll get that, but what he didn't have then was between the ears. He couldn't read defenses. He couldn't read plays. He didn't have timing. He didn't have a lot of things. The guy didn't have enough experience at the quarterback position to be your starting quarterback to lead you to the fucking Super Bowl. It was just a bad move all the way around. And I really wish he didn't do it. It set this team back.
I was excited when it first happened because...
Oh, yeah, everybody was excited.
I thought they got their Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
And
that's what we all hope for.
A dynamic athlete with a huge arm who can not only throw the ball, but he can scramble, he can run. He's dynamic. The word dynamic is overused, but
it is.
I was excited, but it was quickly evident. It was quickly evident just by, the way the 49ers, I don't know. He came in that one at the end of that one season, helped them get into the playoffs with, I forgot who the team they beat. And from a fan's perspective, I think a lot of us were like, well, he helped us get into the playoffs. Maybe he just needs to grow into the job. But I think they have a different view. They see him on a day-to-day basis. And they saw what Brock Purdy was doing with the scout team and how much better Brock looked, even with such limited skill set. And you're right. Now looking back at it, it was a horrible move. If they were going based on what they drafted Brock for, and which is a guy that just runs the offense really well, doesn't make a ton of mistakes. Going back to something other people have said before, they might as well have just drafted Mac Jones. And I find it funny that Mac Jones is now the backup quarterback on this team, and from some reports they say that pick was split until the last minute, and then they eventually went with Trey Lance. We'll never know until Kyle, writes an all-telling book. 20 years after.
There's a reason why he brought him in. It's a guy that he liked in the past, and then now he's the backup. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Mac Jones being the backup quarterback. I think that's a great signing, because if Brock were to go down, or if Brock were to hold out, if Brock wasn't available, you still have Mac Jones you can use. So he's still young. You could still develop him in the Kyle Shanahan system. So I think getting him as your backup quarterback was a good thing. And so I'm good with that move. But it still bothers me that we still haven't signed Brock Purdy. It's like, dude, can we just get that done already and move on? Because it's just a source of controversy for a lot of these guys. And so I want to get past that.
Based how last season went, and based on the holdouts that we experienced as a team coming off that Super Bowl loss, and all the talk in the post-season press conference and so far this offseason, John is Mr. Coach. He's Mr. Media. Me and 49ers Plus podcast, Al and even Sterling were always like, he says all the right things. He's got the voice. He's got the looks. He looks like a corporate guy, like who says all the right things.
Yeah.
But yet they're still doing the same thing with Brock. And I love all these reports. And like I said, I know pages have to get their clicks, but I love these reports where like I jump on X, I see a report from a page that I trust, and I see Brock Purdy, and I'm thinking, oh, they signed him. And then literally it's the same story.
It's the same
since
shit.
End of January,
Yeah.
just reworded and then put back out. And I get so frustrated. And you know me, I don't mince words on X. I say what I want to say. I'm just like, how about don't report it? But they have to.
This is what they do. I'll give you a clear example of what they do. So every day I go on the X, and in my timeline, I'll run into this. Brock Purdy and the Niners have engaged in contract negotiations. They're hoping to get this done before the season starts. Like, yeah, no shit. It's like, dude, okay, I've known that for quite a while now. You're kind of stating the obvious, and it's what they do, and it is what it is. What's up, David McNiner? Guys, coming up, we're gonna be doing our mock draft 3.0 here on the show. That's be coming up after the break, but still, I still want to talk about a few more things. So we know that the Niners, in talking about the draft, the Niners have brought in some players that they want to interview in their top 30 visits. One of them is Tennessee's defensive tackle Omar Norman Lott, which I like a lot. Walter Nolan is another guy. Mikael Williams out of Georgia is another player. They're really bringing in the defensive tackles.
Mikael is an edge or a DT?
What?
The Mikael, his name is Mikael?
He's an edge rusher out of Georgia.
Okay. Because I've
the
seen
guy's a monster too.
He's been mocked in the second round.
Second round, late first round, in the 20s. I've seen him going in the teens sometimes as well on some of the mock drafts that I've been a part of. He's a good player. His size is incredible. I want to say he's like 6'5". Let me pull it up right now. The guy is freaking huge. But when you look at his numbers, they're not that great. And so that's what makes me nervous about this guy.
He didn't have the production at the college level.
Well, and not only that, but you're playing for Georgia, so you're already playing for a powerhouse team. You got guys like Jalen Walker, the linebacker that was on there. You got a lot of good players on that defense. And let me bring up his stats. And that's where I was kind of like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe this is not the guy I'm thinking of. Because, look, in last season, he only had 5 sacks. Season before that, he had 3.5. And before that, he had 2.5. And so you go, okay, well, he got 5 sacks. I mean, he's only in college, right? Yeah, but this guy's 6'5", 265. This guy is fucking huge. And you only have like 5 sacks?
Sounds like another Drake Jackson to me.
No, I think he sounds like another Larry, what's his name? Beal.
Robert Beal.
Robert Beal Jr.
Larry Beal. I
always call him Larry Beal. He sounds like another Robert Beal. You're like, hey, look, we've already done that. We got a guy like that. He doesn't do shit. So look, do I think Mikael Williams will be like Robert Beal? No, I don't. I think he'll be better. But only getting 5 sacks, I mean, that's not a lot. Now you look at Shamar Stewart. He only had like 4 sacks on the year, but the guy is another monster player who played on Texas A&M. Williams was on Georgia. That's a powerhouse team with a powerhouse defense, but you only got 5 sacks. I don't get that at all. I don't get it. So as we go into this draft, one of the things that I think that the Niners need to do is I would literally, unless someone good falls to you, I would focus on defensive tackle, edge rusher. I want to rebuild my defensive line with my first 3 picks. Unless there's somebody else there that I would take over, one of those guys. So, like, let's say, with my number 11 pick, if a guy like Armand Membu falls or Will Johnson falls, then I'm going to take them because those are top 10 players that have slipped out of the top 10. And at that point, you can look to trade back because other teams are going to want those players. But if Armand Membu becomes available, I think that's a guy you can't pass up. You can't. He's too good. Will Campbell's another one. I don't see Will Campbell getting out of the first, out of the top 10. There's a big question about his short arms. I don't think that at the end of the day that really matters. The guy's really good. The guy played for LSU, and he went against the best edge rushers in all college football, and he dominated. So I still think that's a guy you get if he's there. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about the guys that we cannot pass up when it comes to the NFL draft. And for me, the guys you cannot pass up, because look, my focus is defensive line, edge rusher, and defensive tackle. That's where I want to rebuild this team, because I think that's going to make the biggest impact on the game is your defensive line. So for me, that's where I want to go. But the guys I can't pass up, Will Johnson, I can't pass him up. He's too good. He didn't play that much this past season because of injury, but the guy is incredible as a corner. Another guy would be, like I said, Armand Membu. I would not pass him up. I can't. The guy's too good of an offensive lineman to pass up. Now, obviously, yes, you could trade back, which I'm all in favor of trading back if one of those guys becomes available. Hey, you want Will Johnson and you're the Seahawks? Hey, I'll you have the 18th pick in the draft. Let's do a trade. I'll drop back to 18 and I'll pick up one of your second round picks, and you can have Will Johnson, and I'll draft Jalen Walker. I'll draft Derek Harmon. So there's a lot of flexibility in what Niners can do. Let me pull up the list here. This is already a pre-draft that I did. But this is a draft that I did, was it yesterday, that I wanted to share with you guys. So I did this one, and I was really happy with it. I traded back to pick number 22, and I got Walter Nolan, which is a really good defensive tackle. Then I picked Derek Harmon. So already I have two defensive tackles side by side. Those are my starters. And then I picked up Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. This guy's a beast. So now I have a rebuilt defensive line of Landon Jackson.
You essentially just rebuilt
because
your starting defensive lineman.
And here's the reason why is because we know that this draft is deep in what? In defensive linemen. It's also deep in running backs as well. But look, I'm not going to spend the pick number, my first round pick, my second round pick. I'm not going to pick a running back because we know how Kyle uses running backs. Let's say you draft Ashton Genty. What's the odds that he's going to use both Ashton Genty and Christian McCaffrey?
49ers won't draft a running back any sooner than the third round. There's just no way.
Yeah. I mean, I took one. I took Trevor Etienne in like the 7th round. I was like, hey, he's a good running back. He's got a lot of speed. I'll take him there. I'm not going to waste a top pick.
It sounds exactly like a Kyle Shanahan pick too.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's really no point. So I took Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, Landon Jackson. Now my defensive line is rebuilt and is set and ready to go for next season. I also have Evan Anderson, Jordan Elliott, and Sam O as my backups. So now you added some depth and you've rebuilt your defensive line. And that's not even counting any free agents that we pick up or undrafted free agents that we pick up after the draft.
And John Lynch did say along the lines of he will still be a top whatever spending team, a top 5 spending team by the beginning of the season. So Niners could make some moves after the draft.
Absolutely.
Maybe they add someone who gets cut and you get a veteran edge rusher or maybe another interior defensive lineman. I'm very much nervous though, if you think about it, like that essentially we're rebuilding our defense with a bunch of rookies. Depending on who you talk to, some people think, at least 5 starters need to come out of this draft. And then there's other people that think that 2 or 3, and that the Niners already have some pieces in house. They're pretty bereft of talent. So I don't know exactly how to look at this. All I know is that they need somebody opposite of Bosa, and I would love to see them have a game-wrecking DT inside. It makes everybody's job easier, Get some interior pass rush, changes the way you can rush people. The Niners seem to be a team that likes to rush from the outside all the time, and they always get gouged up the middle. I would love that to change. So if the Niners go DT their first 2 picks, maybe that won't happen anymore. Walter Nolan is another guy that I've seen mocked to the 49ers.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier. I've seen him as high as 11. So yeah, if he's down at 22, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, look, I got Walter Nolan. So there's my big defensive tackle, my pass rusher. Needs to improve some of his footwork and handwork when it comes to stopping the run. But this guy, I've even seen this guy compared to Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs. The guy can line up on the outside. He can line up on the inside. You can move him around. And so that's why his versatility is something the Niners really, really need. Derek Harmon, another defensive tackle. This guy, I think, is good against the run, but he's one of those, immovable forces. Anything, if there's one player that I would want that I didn't get in this draft, would have been Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. I love Kenneth Grant. I think he's just a big, imposing defensive tackle that I don't want to miss out on. Another guy that's a can't miss if he falls to 11 is Mason Graham. I would take him in a heartbeat. He's another powerhouse defensive tackle who's great against the run and can put pressure on the quarterback. I just actually put out a video of Mason Graham, a draft video breakdown, which is up on the channel right now. So if you have time, go check that out. If you go to my playlist, it's under NFL Draft, and you'll see Mason Graham. I posted that today. And then moving on, we got Jaden Higgins. So I got a really good receiver. I picked number 86. I got Demetrius Knight Jr., a linebacker out of South Carolina. This guy is a monster. I love this guy. Ajane Cornelius, I picked up as another offensive tackle, which will help in replacing Colton McKivitz or even helping out on the other side for Trent Williams. I got Charles Grant, another good offensive tackle out of William and Mary. It's a smaller school, but this guy is really good. I got Noel Williams, a cornerback out of California. Jack Sawyer, I got him late. I picked number 160. Is he going to be a game wrecker? No, but he's a good, solid edge rusher that I can rotate in and out. That way I'm not dependent on Sam O as my backup. Jackson Hawes, I got an experienced tight end in terms of number of years in college. Nazir Stackhouse, another defensive tackle to help give us more depth. And then linebacker Colin Oliver. We'll see how he turns out. And then Trevor Etienne. So I was really happy with this draft. But this is probably the most complete draft that I've done, where I've covered a lot of different positions, where I hit on receiver, linebacker. I got 2 offensive tackles. I took them back to back. Still got a corner. Got extra edge.
What's the blue?
That means I made a trade. So I did a trade with, I forgot what team it was, where I picked up I swapped 11 for 22, and I also picked up 55 and 86. So I picked up a lot of picks just by doing that one trade, because I want to say in this draft, who was it? There was a player that became available at 11. A player fell. It was either Will Johnson. I think it might have been Will Johnson that fell. And so then I got offered a trade by, I think, the Chargers. And that's why I picked up more draft picks.
I can't see them drafting a corner at 11. As much as he would be an automatic starter, I really think they got their starters in Renato Green and Diamador Lenore. I think it would put Diamador in the slot, which is where he excels at, which would be the perfect situation too. Then again, I could be wrong and you could be right. And maybe they help their pass rush and their defensive line by having a completely shut down secondary. So my thing is, I asked this to Sterling Bennett, and I'll ask you, do you think the 49ers are less worried about the names lost because they have more faith in Robert Saleh and that what he can do to help this young defense? Like, because they brought this guy back who's been known to be this incredible defensive coordinator, they've been reunited, everything's good, kumbaya. Do they say to themselves, well, we might be a little bit lesser when it comes to name value on defense, but we got Rob Saleh back? Sterling seems to think that that's a possibility. Maybe they look at it and they're not as worried as, say, the fans are. Do you have any inclination that maybe they have a lot of faith in Robert Saleh, so they're not as worried as, say, fans are about the names that have walked out of the building?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that Robert Saleh is going to have a big say in what players they draft for his defense.
Yes, he does.
Now, look, they want to get the most out of Robert Saleh as they possibly can because there's a chance that he'll be gone after the season. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, said that at his interview at the coaches and GMs meeting.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that Saleh will be gone after this year. So they want to get the most out of him as they possibly can. And I think that they're obviously going to be looking to groom somebody to take his place or looking at somebody has a similar scheme fit.
Didn't they bring in, what's his name, who used to be on the Seahawks? The ex-head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I know you know exactly.
Gus Bradley.
I feel like Gus Bradley is who they're grooming, to be honest with you. It doesn't
probably
sound sexy.
No, and I'd be fine with that. Next season, based on how we do this season. But I think Robert Saleh is going to be a very vocal, and he's going to be a guy that they turn to in terms of which guys that they want to draft. And I think he's going to have his pick at number 11. He's going to have a lot of say on which player they're going to get, which player they're going to fill at defensive tackle and defensive end, because it's his defense. And I think the way that they're running this is Shanahan is in charge. Obviously, he's the head coach, but he's going to completely oversee the offense, and Saleh is going to completely oversee the defense. And with that being said, they have essentially two head coaches, an offense and defensive coach, which obviously, Shanahan will have final say if he wants to change something. But I think he has so much faith in Robert Saleh in working with him in the past that he's going to let Saleh do what he needs to do to make this team better.
I think Saleh will excited for that. A lot of it. What do they say? Autonomy on the defense. I don't think Kyle's hands will be on
complete autonomy to do what he wants to do.
I don't think Kyle's hands is on that defense at all.
No. But not only that, though, but you got Bryce Huff, who the Eagles are trying to move. And so let's say you make a move where you trade, a 5th round pick for Bryce Huff. You know what I mean? Now you have Bryce Huff opposite Nick Bosa. So let's say you did that. And then you drafted 2 defensive tackles. Now your defensive line is completely rebuilt. If you did this in last year's draft, it may not be as good. But this year's draft, there's so many good players on the defensive line that you can really, really beef it up and beef it up fast.
Last year's draft was a saving grace for this year. Whoever I've talked to and streamed with since the last time we streamed, they were like them hitting on, Mustafa, Pooney, Garendo. I know I'm missing people, but Renardo Green, like that was huge. And I think that went into a lot of the decision making this offseason. That's why you're comfortable losing a Javarius Ward and letting him walk out. That's why you're comfortable letting an Aaron Banks leave the building. The one that got me, the one free agent that left that I'm not mad or worried, but Jalen Moore leaving and then getting paid in Kansas City. When I saw that you put 2 offensive tackles back to back, I could totally see that. Especially if one of them can be a swing tackle like Jalen Moore was able to be.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Your draft that you just put up was probably the most sensible draft that I've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean that's why I took the O tackles back to back. So I was like, dude, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get the guys that I want. Cornelius was a guy that I like him. He's not my favorite, but based on the rankings,
I'll tell you what, though.
Based on the rankings, he was the highest ranked offensive tackle. So I was like, you know what? I'll go with him. And then I had pick number 138 right after that, and I was like, well, I'm going to get Charles Grant because originally I was going to get Jackson Slater out of Sacramento State, but then I looked at it and said, look, I got Spencer Burford and Ben Barch at guard, and then I have Dominic Pooney at guard. I was like, really, it's the tackles we need help in because look, we know Trent Williams is constantly getting a bad ankle, constantly getting hurt throughout the season, and not only that, and then you got McKivitz who, if he has a year like he did last year, then he'll probably be okay. But if he regresses, you got to have a backup plan for Colton McKivitz. So that's why I was like, hey, I'm going to get 2 of these guys right away to back up both of those guys, to have backup plans. Luke Luna says, Aaron, I'll say this, though. Kyle cut his teeth with defense. He knows defense very well. He actually values it over offense. His job is to break defenses down. So I think he'll have some input. Yeah, no, I think he will have input on the player. I mean, he's a head coach, but I think they're gonna lean heavily on what Robert Saleh wants to do to help revamp this defense.
The fact that they didn't panic when Saleh was getting all those interviews, they were so sure that Saleh was coming back, which I think was a really dangerous move, the way that they played it. I think they have a lot of faith on Saleh taking whatever it is that we have on defense going into camp and coaching them up to be incredible. Now, I've always thought Saleh to be more of a rah-rah guy and less X's and O's. But he did well in New York with that defense too. So I'm still like hesitant based on the talent we let leave the building about how I feel about the defense, even with some of the draft picks. But at the same time, I have this, I mean, at least for this year, we have kind of the band back together. And this team when it made it to its first Super Bowl in 2019, since the 2013 season, that defense was ridiculous. That 49ers defense was, you know, one of the tops in the league. So it's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or let's go back to what got us to where we needed to be in the past and stop trying to, reinvent everything. So them going back, they got Saleh back in the building, and now they have a draft that is freaking dripping with defensive linemen at their disposal. I still think it's dangerous to put all your chips in the draft. And there's a lot of people out there, some pretty well-known content creators that have been pretty vocal about the 49ers playing a dangerous game of like, we have to hit on like 5-6 players in the draft. I'm kind I think I teeter on that one. Some days I'm in a bad mood about it, and I'm like, how do you let so much talent leave and not replace it? And then there's a part of me that thinks like everybody's going to be fresh and new. Nobody's going to have an ego. These are all people that haven't accomplished jack crap in the league. So they're going to be open to coaching and all this, that they haven't gotten paid, so there's that part of it that excites me. But then, like I said, I teeter back and forth on it.
Well, and on top of that too, players like Deebo Samuel gone. I think Deebo was a guy that really, really was one of those Super Bowl hangover players where, you got rid of him. Everyone loves Deebo, but now you moved on to a new era now. And so, you have the guys like Fred Warner, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, guys who are gamers, guys who are here for the team and want to see this team win. And I think when it came to Deebo Samuel, he reached a point where he embarrassed himself and he felt like, okay, I need a change. You know what? I just want to get out of here, And I think the longer he would have stayed here, the worse it would have got for him. So Luke Luna writes, this team is about to evolve on both sides of the ball, and that's what makes me excited, especially moving on from Deebo. Handcuffs are gone. Yeah, they just need to get rid of Deebo. The Deebo Samuel show was over, and it was running on reruns. I mean, you were hoping on what you saw a couple of years ago to happen again, and it wasn't. Is he a good player still? Yeah, I think he's a good player, but he's not the player he used to be. So
you can't build your offense around him like they did a couple years ago.
No, you can't. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be doing our mock draft 3.0 right here live on the show. You're watching the Dre Area Sports Show on the Dre Area Sports channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Guys, we'll be right back.
Post Game Live is brought to you by SeatGeek.
That's the wrong one. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by BetUS. BetUS will match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code Dre Area Sports, Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, Then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
It is time for Mock Draft 3.0 as we head into the draft room. Aaron, do you have anything you want to add before we head first into this?
No, I'm good.
I didn't update this banner, but we're doing a mock draft. It says 2.0, but it's supposed to be 3.0. I'll have it updated by tomorrow. But guys, here we go. Mock draft 3.0. It starts right now. It's 3.0, not 2.0, but 3.0. Okay, now, Aaron, do we want to do a full 7-round draft, or do you want to do a 5-rounder, a 6-rounder? What do you want to do? You're the guest.
Didn't we do 4 the last time we were doing
We did 5. Let's do 5.
Let's do 5.
Okay, we do a 5-round. We'll do fast. That way we're not sitting around waiting for every team to make their pick. I'm not going to do any trades, but I will accept trades if the trades benefit the 49ers, and we're going to be the Niners in this draft. Are you ready?
Oh.
Let's see. Hold on. Do I have any music we can play? Some football music? Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah.
There's a copyright strike coming.
Oh, I don't care. Let's see. My channel's not even monetized yet, so I can do that. Later, I'd be like, oh, let's change that a little bit, guys. Okay, here we go. And if it's too loud, let me know, because I can't hear it all that well on my end, like you guys can. So here we go. We're going in to the mock draft, and here we go. Boom. Okay, so right away we get a trade offer. Pick number 16 and 47 for 11 and 113. That's a good trade, because we already have number 43 pick in the draft, and then we get 47 right after that. I would take this trade. Let's see what else we got. We also got pick number 23 and 54. I'm not too in favor of that, and I don't like the Packers. So let's take a look on who's available. So already in the draft, Cam Ward went number 1, Will Campbell number 2, Armand Membu number 3. So both big offensive tackles are gone immediately. Abdul Carter went to the Patriots. Will Johnson went to the Jaguars. Titaroa McMillan went to the Raiders. Mason Graham of the Jets. Travis Hunter fell all the way to pick number 8, and he went to the Carolina Panthers. Shadir Sanders went to the Saints.
That's the
I don't think he'll get
third time I've seen Shedeur Sanders go to the Saints in a mock draft.
He might go there, though, because they need a quarterback. Derek Carr is not the answer there. And then Ashton Genty went to the Bears. The Bears are in a good spot right now because they can afford to draft Genty because they need a running back. They got their quarterback. They got their receivers. They even acquired more offensive linemen as well. So they're in a good spot to get Ashton Genty. Now it's us, the Niners, time to make a trade. Or to make a pick or a trade. So if we look at who's available, we got Tyler Warren, number 11. I'm not big on... he's a good player, don't get me wrong. But I'm not taking a tight end. Jalen Walker would be a player that I'd be interested in. Shamir Stewart. I'm not big on Kelvin Banks. I'm not. And I don't think that's what we need with our first pick. There's Mike Green, but the guy looks good. He's not as great against the run, but he's got the off-field problems. He's got an arrest charge pending. Imagine you draft this guy, then he gets arrested. To me, there's too many red flags. And I love Mike Green, but too many red flags. Colson Levin's a good tight end. Derek Harmon is there. Mikael Williams and everybody else. So I'm looking more at this right here, the trade offer. I think we trade back to 16 and we pick up pick number 47 and we swap out 47 or 113 for 47. What do you think?
Do it.
Let's do it. I think it's a good pick. Bam. Okay, and here we go. Now we got another trade offer, which is pick 24 and 187. So we actually pick up an extra draft pick in pick number 187. Tampa Bay. This is a good pick. I mean, this is a good trade. We move back 3 more spots, but we also pick up 53 instead of 100. That's a good trade, man. Let's see who's still there. Jalen Walker is still there. He'll be gone by the next pick because I'm pretty sure the Bengals are going to take him. We moved back to what? 24 if we took this. Oh, no, 24 or 19. I mean, that's only a few picks back. And we still got all these guys still waiting here. Like Walter Nolan is still there. I think we make one more trade.
Here's praying that Walter Nolan is there.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. I'm going to take Tampa's trade offer. Now, the one thing, though, if I take 53 and give it 100, let's take a look at our picks. Where is that at? It's always different on my phone. We have 16, 43, 47, 75, and then instead of 100, we'd have what? It was 53. But then from there, after 50, or you go 47, 53, 75, and then there's a disparity between 75 to 138. But you get a lot of good players early on.
I think you do it.
This one, I'm going to do it. Okay, now we're back. Jalen Walker's still there. Pick number 38 and 69. That's going too far back. 26 and 90. 35 and 103. They all want Jalen Walker. That's why we're getting all these trade offers.
I think it's time to stay put.
Yeah. Walter Nolan is still there. I don't know if he'll be there at 43, but so we're set right now. We got Jalen Walker. I like him a lot, but the question I have about him is he truly a middle linebacker? He split time between middle linebacker and defensive end or pass rusher. So what is he? Is he a pass rusher or is he a middle linebacker? I don't know.
I'm going Walter Nolan.
Let's go Walter Nolan. He's a for sure thing. Where is he? There he is. Okay, we took Walter Nolan. I'm not even looking at the draft results. Okay. Who went? A lot of players went. There goes Luther Burden. He went. Kenneth Grant went. That was the guy I was thinking about taking before him. Okay, so now we're back. Let's see. Anyone in the chat chiming in? I don't think so. Giants have scouted Shedeur Sanders for 2 straight years. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so let's look at our trade offers. No, thank you. It's not bad, but we'll think about that. Okay, so we already have Walter Nolan. Let's see who's available here. Landon Jackson's there is a good edge rusher. Travion Henderson, that would be a good running back. JT Tuamalu is another edge rusher that's really good. Let's go to defense. Let's go to defensive tackles. TJ Sanders, Darius Alexander, Omar Norman Lott. This guy is 6'3", 315.
Yeah, the Niners are actually, he's one of their, 30 for, what they call it, 30?
Yeah, they're top 30.
Top 30.
I actually like, I don't know if he's part of it or not, but I like Darius Alexander. I've been a big fan of him.
If he's there, man, it would be nice if he dropped.
And then you got TJ Sanders, it's also there. So when you look at all players, you got Xavier Watts, you got Benjamin Morrison, Mason Taylor. He's a good tight end out of LSU.
Like
Landon Jackson
is the guy.
Yeah, he's a good edge rusher. Let me see who else is just here hiding down here. You got Femi Oladejo. Tate Rutledge is still there. So let's go with what's that?
These names of some of these players, you're really good at pronouncing them.
I'm going to go with Landon Jackson. We need an edge rusher, and I think this is the guy right here. So I'm taking Landon Jackson. Okay, what's this? 55 and 125? No.
Nah, dude. We're about to bang it out right here. All these close.
Look at this. 47. I'd pick up 107 and a third from next year, what doesn't really apply to now. Let's just keep going. Okay, so now we're back. Let's go back to defense. I know everyone's probably thinking, like, dude, you need an offensive tackle. But Marcus Membo is still there. Cornelius is still there. Anthony Belton is still there. There's a lot of guys still there. Okay, so also center, too. Jake Majors is still there. I think we're good on there. I want to rebuild this defensive line. That's what I want to do. If anyone in the chat has any suggestions, go right ahead. We have 116 watching right now. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow my account on X and follow Aaron's 49ers First Takes on X as well. I'll be live tomorrow doing the NorCal Sports Report at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So definitely check that out. Okay, so go back to we have TJ Sanders and we have Darius Alexander. Sanders is 6'3", 297, 6'3", 305.
Both kind of light.
Yeah, but these are big boys, dude. 6'3", 305. That's big. Alfred Collins, he's 6'5", 332. He's even bigger. And then Omar Norman Lott, he's sitting at 6'3", 315. He's a good player too, though. I like him a lot. There's also some.
You like Lott a lot?
I like a lot. Jamari Caldwell is there. JJ Puges is still there. There's a lot of good guys. Aeneas Peebles is still there. So there's some guys you can get later in the draft as well. I was looking for. He's in under edge. Xavion Jones is still there. He's a good edge rusher at LSU. David Walker, another good edge rusher. I'm going to go with Darius Alexander. I'm a big fan of him at Toledo. I'm going to take him. Okay, now we're back again. 61. No, I don't want future picks. No, I'm not going to. It doesn't really. It's weird they offer you future picks, but you're like, this is a mock draft. Why would I do that? Okay, so now let's see who we've taken. We've taken a defensive tackle, an edge rusher, and a defensive tackle. Now I think we could go linebacker. You got Barrett Carter. Chris Paul Jr. is also really good. Jeffrey Boss is way down here. We could go corner. Oh, shit. This dude is still here from Florida State. He's really good at corner. Denzel Burke is also good as well. Dorian Strong. Makuba. Let's see on offense. Receiver, we got Jalen Royals, Jaden Higgins, Jack Beck. Do we take a receiver right now to help bolster our receiving core until Brandon Ayuk gets back? I don't know. It seems kind of early for that.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive tackle. Emory Jones from LSU is still there. Tate Rutledge, Jackson Slater, Jared Wilson, Jake Majors. Let's see. Who's there for tight end? Harold Fannin Jr. This guy had a monster fucking year at tight end. He's a bit of an undersized tight end, so they could use him as a receiver. He's got amazing hands. The power and versatility of Deebo Samuel type weapon. He's a gadget guy that we could use. So that's another player I could see. And that's why he's big on their list, too, for the Niners. They've already talked to this guy, interviewed him, because they're big on him. The guy had a monster year. He's not fast, but he's got amazing hands. So his catchability is really, really good. He probably won't be there.
Intriguing piece.
Yeah. But for me, I don't want intriguing pieces. I want to go with pure talent. So let's see who else is here. Tight end. Running back. Who's there for defense? Let's go to all. I don't want a quarterback. So we already have an edge. We have a D tackle. I'm gonna go corner. I'm taking this guy right here, Thomas out of Florida State. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Now we got our corner. Here comes the big despair. Okay, 75. There's somebody here they want. I don't know who it is. Let's see who's all here. Brady Swinson is still there. Darian Porter, Emory Jones. Okay, so now I really want to go receiver. There's Tez Johnson. All those receivers that were there, they're all gone. Tez Johnson is too small. Kyle Williams is pretty good, but Savion Williams is like Deebo Samuel 2.0. Is he still there? No, he's gone too. Elijah Arroyo. It's another guy who's really good. And this guy's 6'5", 250. He's a dynamic tight end. He's got speed. He's a solid technique. This might be the guy right here. Because now that we have Luke Farrell, now you can add a more offensive tight end to go along with George Kittle. Let's see.
Yeah.
Who's here for linebacker? Barrett Carter.
He'd be the future.
He could be.
He can be used in the passing game. He's not so slouch that only blocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do we have now? We have a corner. Okay, so let's go some offense. I think we go tight end, and let's go. Gunnar Helm is still there too. Gunnar Helm is 6'5", 241. Let's go with. I'm going to go with Elijah Arroyo. I'm locking it in. Okay. Oh, was that it? What pick do I have now? Oh, it's my pick again. Okay. Oh, it's still going. Okay, here we go. Now we need to go offensive tackle. Let's see. There's Charles Grant out of William Mary. It's probably going to be the guy I'm going to take. Miles Frazier is really good as well. Jake Majors, if you want to try and replace Jake Brendel.
Another Jake?
Another Jake. I really like this guy, though. William and Mary. He's an intriguing prospect with offensive tackle with athleticism and ability to succeed in the NFL. In pass protection, he does an excellent job of keeping defenders at arm's length. Oh, I might have to go for this guy, Aaron. It's either Charles Grant or it's going to be Miles Frazier. But the thing with Miles Frazier is that he's versatile on the line.
What did
he came out of LSU?
His ability in the did it say he's successful in the zone run scheme?
In the run game, he is most effective in a zone scheme, and he has speed to get involved downfield. I'm taking Charles Grant.
Niners offensive lineman.
Boom. So we got Grant. Okay, now we're back. I mean, if we did this, it'd go from 147. We'd move up. Oh, we move back, but then move up. Fuck the Rams. Let's keep going. Oh, he's fucking gone. Who took him? Those assholes. I wanted Frazier. The Vikings took him right after us. They were like, oh shit, let's get him. Fuck, I really wanted him too. There's Jake Majors we could take. Luke Condra was another good prospect. We also got Damian Martinez, the running back out of Miami, who's really good. Let's see. Danny Stuntsman. Oh, Savion Jones is still there. I'm going to take him. I want another edge rusher. Boom. Now we just added so much depth to our defensive line. Okay, so who do we have so far? We have Nolan, Jackson, a corner, tight end. So we need a receiver. We only have one pick left. This is the final pick in the draft. You know what? Let's just take Damian Martinez at running back because we need to have a backup for. And there's what's his name? Monangi. He's really good too out of Rutgers. But I'm going to go with Damian Martinez out of Miami. Let's see. He's a top-rated player anyways. Let's go with him. Do I have another pick? That's it. So there it is, guys. There's our 5-round mock draft. We got Walter Nolan, Landon Jackson, Darius Alexander. I can't pronounce his name. Thomas, a really good cornerback out of Florida State. Elijah Arroyo. So we have another offensive tight end to help George Kittle. Charles Grant at the offensive tackle position, Savion Jones, and Damian Martinez. If this was a full 7-round draft, I would have taken more offensive tackles or just offensive linemen in general. But because we only had 5 rounds, I tried to spice it up a little bit. But guys, there it is. I'm really hyped about this draft. I think already you're seeing a rebuilt defensive line. You're seeing another corner to give you 3 top corners in the secondary. If I would have done a full 7-rounder, I probably would have had a safety selected as well. We have a new tight end. We have a backup. We have another offensive tackle that could replace Colt McKivitz or later replace Trent Williams when Williams retires or goes down with injury. We got a running back in Damian Martinez and another edge rusher, a good fucking edge rusher in Savion Jones out of LSU.
That wouldn't be a bad 5-round tally.
Not at all.
Yeah, you get 2. You rebuilt your interior. You have 2 edges.
Mm-hmm.
Get a corner. I don't know exactly where he would rank in the secondary. Does he go slot?
I mean, but like, you know, Lenore can go in the slot and he can go to the outside if we need to. Lenore likes being in the slot, so it gives you kind of versatility right there. So I think being just a 5-round mock draft, I think it was good. I'm happy with what we got. Obviously,
Arroyo is an intriguing one because of his ability to catch the ball, and he's not just everything we've had in the past, which is essentially a guy who can't do anything in the pass game, and he's just strictly
like Eric
a blocker.
Saubert. I'm so over Eric Saubert, dude. I'm over it.
I would love to see somebody push Kittle, and not in the normal sense of pushing somebody because they're lacking, but push somebody in the sense that like push him down the depth chart as far as like how often you need to use him. Like give him a break.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Now he doesn't have to be out there every single down as your primary receiving tight end. You know, we know that George Kittle's a great blocking tight end, and he's a great receiving tight end. But now you give him another weapon that you can use. You can have a 2 tight end set, and do something with that. So I think that really works out. But bro, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on here, dude. This was awesome.
Thank you. Been a little out of it. Almost didn't make it today, but I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you did too, man.
It's the draft. I'll say this year. There's a lot of people that have a ton of knowledge, including yourself, in the draft. It's funny. Like in the past, I was so gun ho on the draft and looking up, certain things, and it's like I don't even know where to start now when it goes to like where do I look to scout people or get information on different players and stuff. I've lost my
obviously PFF is really good about that, but I just put the link in the chat. Pro Football Network. To me, that's when I use on my phone all the time. And I'll sit on the couch and do mock drafts over and over again. And they have player breakdowns and everything. So you get to really understand who these players are and, what traits they have. So definitely check out profootballnetwork.com. They have their mock draft simulator. It's excellent. That's what we just use right now, actually. Also, if you go to my channel, Dre Area Sports, there is under playlists, I have separated all of my draft player breakdowns. Newest one is Mason Graham that went up this morning, so definitely check that out. And of course, I got Walter Nolan, Shamir Stewart, a whole bunch of players on there. Darius Alexander. So definitely check out the Dre Area Sports channel and check out the NFL draft section under playlist. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to 49ers First Takes. I'm my boy Aaron over here. We're going to be doing a lot more streams, especially as we get closer to the draft. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But really, I'm going to try and do I'm for sure going to do a mock draft every week. So you don't miss that. And then obviously, guys, tomorrow I'll be live again at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific time with Wayne Breezy over on the NorCal Sports Report on IE Sports Radio. And we'll be doing the mock draft 4.0. With Wayne, so we'll be breaking it down pretty hard in terms of which players we're going to be drafting in that mock draft because he's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all these draft picks. But Aaron, dude, the draft is around the corner, and we're doing a live stream on that draft, aren't we?
Yeah, should better.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
We got to just make it so that they don't make us take it down. But
you can show it, and then you got to bring it down after less than a minute. You just got to show who got selected. I did it once before with some friends. It was really cool. If we're on Twitch, we could just watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
hopefully. You never know.
I've tried to get people to watch on Twitch the channel, and it's like one person per stream. I noticed you had a lot of people on X, man. You got to get.
Oh, X is where it's at.
On X, man. Come over to YouTube. Go to Dre Area Sports YouTube channel, man.
But you know what it is because everybody's on X already. So all you got to do is just click on it and then pull the frame out, and then you can just slide it over and then just keep scrolling while you're listening to the show. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The only problem is I don't get paid for it. But hey, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you like, share, and subscribe to my channel or follow my account on X, because I go live at least once to twice to 3 times a week. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time for the NorCal Sports Report, and I'll have the great Wayne Breezy on the show. Aaron, do you have anything else lined up for the rest of the week?
I do not. It's going to be pretty quiet up until the draft. I'm looking forward to it.
And Aaron and I might go live again on Friday. We'll let you guys know. We're trying to work out the details on that. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. Stay locked into our channels for any updates on when we go live. Guys, thank everyone who tuned in today. Who was here in the comments? Luke Luna, thank you for coming out here. David McNiner, and everyone else, Near Costa Nostra, Frank Tom Ocean. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be live, like I said, I'll be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Wayne Breezy doing a mock draft 4.0. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out my website, which is down below in the description, nicotina.net. And go to Dre Area Sports, because I have 3 channels. So under Dre Area Sports, there's membership tiers available. Become a member of the channel. join the community, and you'll be able to interact with me. Aaron's there as well, and I post updates and all kinds of stuff on there all the time. I try to put our videos on there as well, so they're commercial free when you watch them on there. It has its own media player, which is pretty cool. Guys, until next time, I want to thank everyone who came out. Luke Luna says 100%. Thanks, boys. Thank you. And until next time, guys, I mean, what else is there to say but go Niners, right? That's what I'm saying. Let's go Niners. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.